Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Magic Bringers Rising episode for November 28th through December 4th. Find out in this episode all about how the energy of this coming December month is really going to show us a preview for what's going to happen in the number 7 year ahead, because it's going to be a very different year than this year has been. And I'm going to start dishing out the skinny on what to expect. So stay tuned for the episode. Welcome to Magic Bringers Rising Chats, a show by Super Secret Powers. I'm your host, Lindsay Baldessano, and let's get ready for a dose of energy healing, channeled guidance, and humor to keep your intuitive flow open and your roots grounded so you can weave the life of healing, spiritual purpose, and magic that you want. Okay. So I hope you've all had a wonderful American Thanksgiving if you did celebrate, and no matter what that looked like or even why you celebrated. I mean, for us, it's really just about family, giving, ourselves time and space to do something a little nice for everybody. And we try not to have like too many like obligations and whatnot. It's just, it's a very come as you are kind of thing for us. Um, And even in that vein, we celebrated 3 times with different groups of people. But it was a little much. All that preparation and all the time spent, you know. Mm. But it was a beautiful weekend afterward. And I hope it was for you too. I hope you didn't have to go too crazy, and I hope you got a little bit of relaxing in, a little bit of binge watching, a little bit of downtime as well. All right, but heading into this week, which certainly does not feel like a Monday to me, it feels like it should be Wednesday or Thursday. Just, I don't know why. Just this year, Thanksgiving happening on Thursday, and it always does, of course, really threw me off. I felt like Thanksgiving should have been Sunday. So then Friday should have been Monday. And then the weekend was just like, well, I don't know what days those are. It was just completely detached from from the normal experience of time there. As I kind of coasted through it. But heading into this week, it's going to realign itself. Because we have some very like timely things happening, and already coming into our energy experience, our intuitive experience of time and reality and all that kind of stuff, especially since we have only like 2.5 weeks or so until solstice, which is always a kind of energy reset. But we're already currently going through an entirely different energy reset. So these 2.5 weeks that we have until Yule solstice energy, all that kind of comes through, I think we're really getting a preview of what 7 can be, not necessarily what the living experience of 7 will bring us, um, but the end goal, or maybe some kind of like internal reckoning, internal storytelling of how we've progressed from 2021 to 2022 to 2023. So, like, in that sense, even almost a preview of 2024. Um, so you kind of get that. Reckoning is not the word, but review. Certainly review. It's almost like a year of retrograde. I hate to say it that way, but for retrograde and all its pros and cons, that rehash, that review, that why am I going through this again? That um, I feel like the living experience of 7 is going to be more like that, even if we do find ourselves gaining more positive traction. I don't know why the cats are beating on each other, but they are. But in particular for the energy of this week, It's good to free yourself up using your words and your inner truth to reset the tone. Truth is going to be kind of like a big thing this week because we do have Mars in retrograde. So it's always good to stick to facts this week and not just opinion and not just, I want it to be this way and let's see how many people I can push for it to turn out this way. Of course, unless you're speaking like just from personal rights perspective. Um, but it's also Neptune direct. And I mean, it's certainly not Neptune going retrograde and straightening things out, but I would expect some kind of little review, a little bit of coming to awareness of where you have come to a deeper acceptance of truth, where illusions have perhaps fallen away, where you have seen where maybe were kind of what is the words? Where you were not in alignment with what was actually happening. Because we need to be in that space. And the intuition that does come through, while it may speak of some very positive things, um, there are things to keep you going because of where you are in the moment. And we have to, take the actual physical steps in this weird ass 3D world to make that happen. And we have to find a way to stick to it. And we have to find a way to, really bring in what it is we want to see. But sometimes we really allow ourselves to be clouded because we don't know what we don't know. So sometimes there's some knowledge problems. Sometimes you just don't know how to sell what you want to sell. Sometimes you just don't know who to trust or who to go to get the kind of support, advocacy, or mentoringship that you need. And it's, kind of trial and error trying to see what fits. Even in the health journey, there could be a lot of trial and error, finding the right doctor, finding the right balance of meds and supplementary healing stuff, and but it's the journey we all have to take. um so you know take this week a little lightly, let it show you what it wants to show you, and realize that you are still and always in process for walking this journey. So it's a week to like look at the big picture. I mean, that Sagittarius energy is going to have us be that kind of wide open or more open than we had been. um or the longer journey, maybe not the bigger picture but the longer journey, whatever fits. But don't let yourself become ungrounded to being present in this moment of the journey. um and just use that Sagittarius energy to really check where your longer term alignment is. If you're on this healing journey, have you been keeping up with your doctors? Have you been looking for the better doctor? Have you made those motions yet? Have you made appointments? And that's just an example. That's not a personal message to anybody I know. It's whatever came to mind. So if that resonates with you, it resonates with you. um and there are so many ways to take that. So certainly go with your intuition on this. Go with where your gut feels right. And certainly my gut needs a lot of review lately because I went from having like an IBS flare up right before Thanksgiving to, then having to deal with the healing of the gut while we're doing, Thanksgiving feast. So it was like, all right, one day on, one day off, one day on, one day off. I don't want to get too graphic with that. But in this week where Neptune is finally going direct again, and we have like another, let's say, 6 months or so until summer-ish, um, where we aren't necessarily being, in our face with the things that we haven't been in acceptance with. It's okay to want what you want. Know this. I mean, in any and all cases, it's okay to want what you want, and it does want you in return. Sometimes it's about the how and the why if we're going about getting what we want to see. Sometimes it's, really needing to start at square one, not because we were forced to, but because now we actually see the cracks in the foundation that we needed, to work on, to begin with. um, so, it's also a way to recognize that we get to polish things up, that we get to, relook at the how and the whys of why we're doing things. And I'm going to get to that in a second. Because I want to start talking about how we're going to close up this year, this number 6 year of 2022. Number 6 year with a lot of two energy. But next week, as we're so it's going to be a progression of energy this week, freeing up of energy, that Sagittarius energy coming in, or Neptune stuff getting a little settled out. And then next week is full moon, and Mars will be at its closest approach to Earth. So expect that to be a little intense. Yes, emotions might get stirred. Um, but remember to stick to the idea that, these feelings are leading you somewhere. If you are upset about something, really dig a little deeper and see what it is you care about, and try and get a beat on where you've been and how you've been, um, addressing that. Again, the hows and the whys are going to become important, and they are becoming important these next 2 weeks, and they will be becoming important over the next year. So, wrapping up that energy for 2022, number 6 year with lots of two energy. So lots of diplomacy, lots of peacemaking, compromise, negotiation. Some of the key words that people were throwing around were self-sacrifice, nurturing, responsibility, and how we attend others. I have to say, I don't really feel like that was really the key words for me in 2022. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Was this past year really about self sacrifice, nurturing, responsibility, and attending others, service? Um, for me, it was actually it was a weirdly personal year for a year that was supposed to be about like your relationship to the world and others and how you're serving others. Um, for me, it kind of served as a wake up call to how I was relating to different aspects of my life, and not necessarily to people. I mean, there was a little bit of the people stuff in there, but maybe I've just gotten that stuff straightened out for myself and my personal relationships. I don't know. You tell me. Did you have a lot of relationship stuff going on this year? Or was it more about your relationship to health, to the roles you've chosen to serve, to how you're showing up on social media, to, how you are adding to your family legacy or how you are planning for that? Um, your relationship to money and the role it serves in your life and how you celebrate that. uh, a relationship to how you're running your business. It was personal, but it wasn't personal in this very weird way. It was like almost transpersonal. Like, who do I want to be to these people, but not as Lindsay, as some kind of representative of a message, a representative of this energy. Like it was. I'm saying, like, it was a weird year. Maybe I'm coming up on the or on a big return or something. I mean, I'm in my mid 40s. Maybe that's just it, but you tell me. How did you experience this year? Um, and now going into 7, which on the surface they're saying, is about, withdrawing, and it's about mastery, and digging a little bit deeper, really following your intuition. And on the surface, maybe that is generally true. Pardon me. But I'm also seeing this thread of energy that can be problematic. I'm going to say that up front. But, we're going to shift this message and turn it into something more practical as we get closer to 2023. It's a universal mirroring year. So it's like going to mirror back what you're putting out there, which might drive a lot of people batty at first until they finally, can flip the switch themselves, until they can finally see it. Um, so in a way, I really feel like this is like the year of retrograde energy, where you're going to be rehashing, where it's going to feel like deja vu, where it's going to feel like I'm back to this again. Um, and know that going forward, and really sit down, and as you're saying goodbye to 2021, 2022, because I feel like, they're part of something. They're part of this new beginning into this new age, where some things had to really fall apart in order to get rebuilt up. And now we're coming into this 2021, where we get to look at these cracks, and we get to say, like, well, all right, we had some good ideas, what actually worked, and how can we polish this up going forward? How can we shore this up going forward? How can we make sure this is being addressed going forward from here on out? Because we see how important those holes were. Backwards way of saying it, but I think you get my point. And the other thread I'm seeing in this seven energy is presence, and being very present in your life to hear what needs to come forward, even if you don't necessarily like it. So it's almost a year where we have to, really learn to hold our personal boundaries in a different place, so we can start hearing some of the harder stuff, or some of the stuff that might hit a little bit closer to home. And in that way, it is about mastery, and it is about intuition and following your alignment. But it's a reckoning year, but not like social justice reckoning year, kind of like 2021 was. Um, this feels more personal, and it feels softer, and it feels like, so that's what you've been trying to tell me. Hmm. I see how I heard it, but I didn't hear, but I didn't hear it fully. And being able to then make a more fully aligned plan. Again, I'm seeking words to things that I'm only just starting to talk about now. So bear with me. All right. I'm only going to do a little bit of quick light language coming into this new week, but I do want to tell you, please stay tuned for me dropping the sales page for the plan your 2023 year party with my dream casting method. It's not like you can use it with any planner. It's more a way of thinking about how to bridge the gap between, getting the intuitive hits and getting the intuitive guidance you need, and being able to put things onto your planner. So this little workshop, it'll be December 28th. So that's exactly a month from now. I'll walk you through that and give you some more solid information about how to use the energy going forward, that number 7 year, and the eclipse seasons, and how that, like, the story that's going to play out for all that, so that you can put that into your planner, as well as dates to watch out for, dates to decide things, dates to, lean back or lean forward, depending on what the energy is like. Um, So you have that information going forward. So when things do come up, you'll know, when to maybe just back off the gas pedal a bit rather than just push forward, or to switch up your plan so it's a little bit more freeing for you so you can divert your energy somewhere else that week. Because what is the point in being intuitive if we cannot figure out how to apply it to our personal lives? Um, Granted, I mean, that kind of supports the argument that maybe, our intuition is only for other people. And I can agree with that to a point. But I think half the problem is that we are not objective about our own plans, our own life, and what we think we can do. I think we tend to overshoot a bit, but I think that's a modern person problem. um, First world problem, even. So, you know, part of this is learning to get the guidance you need when you need it, and then learning how to apply what level the guidance needs to come in at into your life. Knowing what is big picture versus small detail. One little point they want to make so you can edit your energy in the present moment versus this is my new thing forever and always, and then you're off on this distracting tangent when all they ever wanted you to do was just sprinkle a little bit more pepper in to your daily life here and now. So it really helps you sort through that stuff and get that level of discernment you need so that planning isn't always this thing you're struggling against. And, maybe you can start putting things on a planner and have it work out the way you think it will. All right. So that's what that workshop's about. Watch for it. And now on to the light language. So for the light language portion of this, I feel is coming forward has a lot to do with a lot of root chakra healing, lots of lower chakra healing, really so that we can begin to build up our base, the energy of our bases in this world. So we can consider expansion energy, especially going into 7 year. While this may seem like a short transmission today, it is not. This is part of the ongoing opening, a series of initiatory transmissions that will be coming through from now until late 2023. And we hope that what we have threaded through will continue to stabilize your experience of the transition that 2023 offers. A deeper understanding of why you are here in this now moment, what you bring to this world, and a deeper understanding of what that service means for you and what it can look like format-wise, expression-wise. And as always, you ever have our support. And thank you for participating. Thank you for showing up for this Magic Bringers Rising episode. And of course, if you want to see, the development of this energy transmission series for this number 7 year coming up, stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like anything you see and that you resonate with from Super Secret Powers. And we will see you next week for the next Magic Bringers Rising episode. If you aren't already in my group, my free community on Facebook, Magic Bringers Rising.